You ever have one of those moments, a sudden muscle twitch, a weird rumbling sound inside your own head, or your leg just kicks out for no reason, and you just stop and think, what on earth was that? Well, our bodies are absolutely full of these strange little quirks. So today, we're going to decode these glitches and find out what's really going on under the hood. Right? It really does feel like our bodies are running their own secret program sometimes, totally without our permission. That sudden shiver when it's not cold, a phantom tickle, it's all a bit of a mystery. So, what's really driving these bizarre involuntary actions? Well, here's the thing. These aren't errors. They're not bugs in your personal operating system. Instead, you should think of every single one as a fascinating little clue, a breadcrumb that reveals something incredible about your own biology, your evolution, and even the way your brain is wired. So let's start investigating. First up, let's talk about automatic actions. These are the things that happen so fast you don't even have time to think about them. They're basically hardwired directly into our nervous system for maximum speed. Okay, let's try out the all-time classic. If you're sitting down right now, go ahead and give this a shot. Just cross one leg over the other so it can swing nice and free. Now feel for that little soft spot, that tendon right below your kneecap, and give it a firm but gentle tap. Just so, why did your leg kick out all on its own? It's all thanks to something called a reflex arc. Basically, the signal from the tap takes a super fast shortcut. It zips straight to your spinal cord, which immediately fires back a command telling your thigh muscle to contract. Your brain, it only finds out what happened after your leg has already kicked. It's a need for speed system. Here's another reflex you can probably trigger right now. No tapping required. Just take a second and think about a really, really cold winter day, or maybe a super suspenseful moment in a horror movie. Now, focus on your arms. See if you can make those little bumps just appear out of nowhere.
What you're seeing is a direct, living link to our evolutionary past. Those little bumps are caused by a tiny muscle at the base of each hair follicle, contracting and pulling the hair straight up. Now, for our ancient, much hairier ancestors, this was super useful. It would fluff up their fur coat to trap a layer of air for warmth, or it would make them look bigger and way more intimidating to a predator. For us, it's just this fascinating little leftover.
Okay, let's switch gears. We're moving from automatic nerve reflexes to some seriously weird illusions that happen inside our own brain. This is where things get really trippy because we're about to talk about feeling and sensing things that, well, they kind of defy logic. You have to try this one with a friend. It's wild. Tuck one of your arms completely behind your back so you can't see it. Now, have your friend gently tickle the air right where your elbow would be. Just focus on that empty space. You might feel this bizarre ghost tickle, as if your arm is still right there. No, it isn't magic. It's this amazing thing called proprioception. You see, your brain maintains a constant, live updating map of where all your body parts are in space. It's a kind of sixth sense that lets you walk without staring at your feet. So when you hide your arm, you take away the visual confirmation, but the brain's map can stay active, creating that spooky phantom feeling. All right, let's try another sensory illusion, but this time with your sense of taste. Go grab a jelly bean, a piece of fruit, anything with a really distinct flavor. Now, before you pop it in your mouth, pinch your nose completely shut. Got it? Okay, now start chewing. Kind of weird, right? Or more like a lack of anything?
Without your sense of smell, that rich, complex cherry or orange flavor just disappears. All you can really detect are the absolute basics on your tongue, like sweet or sour. The actual flavor is gone.
And here is the absolutely mind-blowing stat behind that. Up to 80%, yeah, 80% of what we think of as flavor doesn't come from our taste buds at all. It's actually aroma, and it's all processed by our sense of smell. This is the exact reason why food tastes so bland and boring when you have a cold. Your nose is blocked, so you're left with just a fraction of the experience. Okay, for our final section, let's dive into the purely physical glitches, those strange sounds and feelings our bodies make, not because of nerves or brain tricks, but because of simple mechanics and physics. Ah, the famous or maybe infamous knuckle crack. If you're a cracker, you know what to do. Gently and slowly pull on one of your fingers. Don't force it, of course, but you might hear that familiar, sharp little pop. So, what is that noise? Are you actually breaking something in there? No, not at all. You can relax. That sound comes from a cool physics process called cavitation. When you stretch your joint, you're lowering the pressure inside the joint fluid. This allows gases that are dissolved in that fluid, like nitrogen, to form a teeny tiny bubble. The pop you hear, that's just the sound of that bubble rapidly collapsing on itself. It's pure physics. All right, here's a much more subtle one. Some of you can actually do this on command. Try clenching your jaw muscles really tight. Or maybe make a big, fake yawn. While you're doing that, listen. Listen closely. Do you hear a low, deep rumbling sound? Almost like distant thunder that seems to be coming from inside your own head? If you heard that rumble, you just voluntarily flexed your tensor tympani muscle. It's this tiny little muscle deep inside your ear that's attached to your eardrum. Its main job is to tighten up to protect your hearing from really loud noises, like the sound of your own chewing. That rumbling you hear is literally the sound of that muscle vibrating as you contract it. How cool is that? So we've looked at nerve shortcuts, brain map illusions, and some strange physical pops and rumbles. Let's bring all these clues together and figure out what it all means. Okay, after exploring all these weird glitches, we can finally go back to that original question. Are our bodies just faulty? Are they full of bugs? And the answer is a very clear, very loud no. There is a reason, a logic behind every single one of these quirks. When you boil it all down, these so-called glitches really fall into just a few key categories. Some of them, like goosebumps, are just evolutionary leftovers from a time when we were very different. Others, like that knee-jerk reflex, are crucial protective shortcuts built for pure speed. Then you have the brain map glitches that create those phantom feelings. And some are just the harmless, fascinating byproducts of simple physics happening right inside our own bodies. So really, the best way to think about these quirks is not as bugs, but as features. They're the fascinating, sometimes weird side effects of a biological machine that has been evolving and fine-tuning itself for millions and millions of years. And that kind of leaves you with one final big thought. If even our body's so-called glitches have such clever and logical explanations behind them, what does that say about the rest of our design? It really makes you stop and appreciate just how complex and how incredibly amazing the human body truly is.